Goals, Making Them Work for You by Jim Rohn. The Bible says, without dreams and vision, we perish. How true. But you know, the opposite is also true. With dreams we can be transformed in unique and unprecedented ways. In the previous chapters, one showed you how to choose your goals and to start reaching for them. Now you'll learn how to let your dreams mold your very existence. First, you need to understand that once you set goals that really matter to you, you are no longer the same person. Real goals will affect almost everything you do all day long, and they will be with you wherever you go. Your handshake, your manner of dressing, the tone of your voice, the way you feel, all will change once you have goals. That's because when your goals matter, everything you do becomes related to their accomplishment. But for goals to really move you, to take charge of your life, they must be worthy. I once asked a man, "What are your goals for the month?" He said, "If I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills." That was his goal. Now, I'm not saying that paying the bills can't be a goal. It can. But it's such a poor goal. I certainly wouldn't put it on the list of life's most inspiring motivations. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, "Oh boy, another chance to go out there and scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills." To have your goals transform you, you must set them high. Set them enough out of reach to cause you to grow and to stretch. Set them high enough to excite your imagination and motivate you to action. But just as you must set them high enough to pull you, don't set them so far beyond you that you lose heart before you begin. The true purpose of goals. Let me share with you an intriguing thought. The real value in setting goals is not in their achievement. The acquisition of the things you want is strictly secondary. The major reason for setting goals is to compel you to become the person it takes to achieve them. Let me explain. What do you think is the greatest value in becoming a millionaire? Is it the $1 million? I don't think so. No, the greatest value is in the skills, knowledge, discipline, and leadership qualities you'll develop in reaching that elevated status. It's the experience you'll acquire in planning and developing strategies. It's the inner strength you'll develop to have enough courage, commitment, and willpower to attract $1 million. Give $1 million to someone who does not possess the attitude of a millionaire, and that person will most likely lose it. But take away all the wealth from a true millionaire, and in no time he or she will build a new fortune. Why? Because those who earn their millionaire status develop the skills, knowledge, and experience to duplicate the process again and again. As you can see, when someone becomes a millionaire, the least important thing is what they have. The most important thing is what they have become. Here's a question you should spend some time pondering. What kind of person will you have to become to get all you want? In fact, why not write down a few thoughts on this in your notebook or journal? Write down the kinds of skills you'll need to develop and the knowledge you'll need to gain. The answers will give you some new goals for personal development. Remember this rule: income rarely exceeds personal development. That's why all of us must subject ourselves to self-examination. I often look at my life and ask, well, here's what I want, but am I willing to become the kind of person it will take? If I'm too lazy, if I'm not willing to learn, read, study, and grow to become what I must become, then I cannot expect to attract what I want. Now, when faced with a choice, I must decide to either change myself or change my wants. Don't become overwhelmed when setting goals, especially for the first time. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the process. My advice to you is relax. If you don't feel you're equipped to get what you want, remember this: your ability will grow to match your dreams. This is the magic of goal setting. The more you work on your goals, the more new opportunities will present themselves to you. And inside each new opportunity will be the seed of solution to a previous, seemingly unsolvable problem. So don't be afraid to get started. The journey will take you far beyond your wildest imagination. I know the person I was 25 years ago when I met Mr. Shofis, today, a stranger to me. I am no longer that person. I've changed. So can you. Many people are afraid to get going because of past failure and pain. They carry heavy burdens on their souls, burdens that unless unloaded will weigh them down forever. My friend, there is nothing you and I can do about the past. It's gone and buried. But you can do a great deal about your future. You don't have to be the person you were yesterday. You can make changes in your life, absolutely. Startling changes in a fairly short period of time. You can make changes you can't even conceive of right now if you just give yourself half a chance. Your abilities will grow. You'll draw on untapped potential and talents that you never knew existed. And as time goes on, you'll draw from new reserves deep within your creative mind. Before you know it, you'll be able to accomplish things that now seem impossible to achieve. You'll be able to handle things you never thought you could handle. Your mind will give birth to new and creative ideas. Why are goals so powerful? How can they cause all this to happen? I don't know. I guess this question falls into that special category I call the mysteries of life. All I can tell you is that it does work. Find out for yourself. Give yourself the chance to become all you can become and to accomplish all you can accomplish. Asking. There's a command in the Bible that teaches all you need to know to get what you want. This is what it says. Ask. That's it. Ask. Of all the important skills to learn, make sure that you've got this one down. What does ask mean? Ask means ask for what you want. And the complete formula is staggering. It is ask and you shall receive. I think we'd better look into that. First, asking starts the process of receiving. Asking is like pushing a button that unleashes incredible machinery, both intellectual and emotional. As I said before, I don't know how or why it works, but I do know it works. There are a lot of things that work equally well whether we understand the mechanism behind them or not. Just work them. Some people never get started because they're always studying the roots. And then there are others who choose to pick the fruit while they study the roots. It all depends on which end you want to start with. I recommend that you start asking. Second, receiving. The other part of the formula is not a problem. You don't have to work on receiving. It's automatic. So if receiving isn't difficult, what's the problem? It's failing to ask. The guy says, yes, but you work where I work. By the time you struggle home, it's late. You've got to get a bite to eat, watch a little TV to relax, and then get to bed. You can't sit up half the night and ask. And this fellow is behind on his bills. He's a good worker, a hard worker, a sincere worker. But you've got to do better than work hard and be sincere all your life, or you'll wind up broke and embarrassed. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good asker. I see it now, he says. I got up every day this past year and hit it hard. But nowhere in my house is there a list of the things I ask of life. How about you? How's your list? Third, receiving is like the ocean. There's plenty. This is especially true in this country. It's like an ocean here. Success is not in short supply. It isn't rationed so that when your turn comes, they already give it all away. No. If that's true, what's the problem? The problem is that most people go to this ocean of opportunity with a teaspoon. Have you got the picture? A teaspoon. In view of the size of the ocean, may I suggest that you trade in your teaspoon for something bigger? How about a pail? It may not be the best you can do, but at least kids won't make fun of you. 2 more thoughts about asking. First, ask with intelligence. The Bible may not say, ask intelligently, but I have no doubt that this is what is meant. So don't mumble. You won't get anything by mumbling. Be clear. Be specific. Asking intelligently includes answering how high, how long, how much, when, what size, what model, what color. Describe what you want. Define it. Remember, well-defined goals are like magnets. The better you chisel, them, the stronger they pull. Second, ask with faith. Faith is the childlike part. It means believe that you can get what you want. Believe as a child believes. Believe without the skepticism and cynicism of the adult in you. You see, many of us have become too skeptical. We've lost that wonderfully innocent, childlike faith and trust. Don't let this stop you. Believe in and have faith in yourself and your goals. And get excited, just like a child. Childlike enthusiasm, there's nothing more contagious. Children think they can do anything. They want to know about everything. How wonderful. They hate to go to bed at night and can't wait to jump out of bed in the morning. Children can ask 1,000 questions. And just when you think you're ready to climb the wall, they'll ask 1,000 more. They will drive you to the brink. But, of course, their curiosity is really a virtue. When you rekindle your own childlike sense of curious enthusiasm, you will be well on your way to becoming a masterful asker. Goal setting and time management. Time management is a popular topic these days. All kinds of books, tapes, and seminars are offered to a public that is hungry for information on how to use time more productively. How about you? Would you like to become a better time manager? Then you need to understand this. Unless you have goals, it is impossible to manage your time effectively. Productivity is a result of well-defined objectives. The allocation of time is not critical if objectives are not firm and vividly planted in the mind. It's that simple. This is one of the many reasons why writing goals down on paper is so important. Priorities. One of the difficulties we face in our industrialized age is the fact that we've lost our sense of seasons. Unlike the farmer whose priorities change with the seasons, we have become impervious to the natural rhythm of life. As a result, we have our priorities out of balance. Let me illustrate what I mean. For a farmer, springtime is his most active time. It's then that he must work around the clock, up before the sun and still toiling at the stroke of midnight. He must keep his equipment running at full capacity because he has but a small window of time for the planting of his crops. Then comes winter when there is less for him to do to keep him busy. There is a lesson here. Learn to use the seasons of life. Decide when to pour it on and when to ease back, when to take advantage and when to let things ride. It's easy to keep going from 9 to 5 year in and year out and lose a natural sense of priorities and cycles. Don't let one year blend into another in a seemingly endless parade of tasks and responsibilities. Keep your eye on your own seasons, lest you lose sight of value and substance. Majors and minors. An important part of setting priorities is learning to separate the minors of your life from the majors. Here is a good question to ask yourself whenever you have to make a decision. Is this a major or a minor? By asking this, always, with your goals in mind, you'll reduce the risk of spending major time on minor projects. In sales, we are taught that there exists only one major time. That's the time we spend in the presence of a prospect. Any time spent on the way to the prospect, no matter how essential, is minor time. 2. Many salespeople spend more time on the way to than with, and their incomes reflect this. That's why in sales we teach, don't go across town until you've gone across the street. The majors and minors concept has another application. It also says, don't spend minor time on major things. It's easy to get values all mixed up. A parent spends 3 hours watching TV and only 10 minutes playing with the children. A manager spends most of the day filling out forms and very little time encouraging his employees. These are people who have lost a sense of what's important and what's trivial. This same concept also applies to money. Don't spend major money on minor things, and conversely, don't spend minor money on major things. Some people spend a fortune on food for their bodies and very little on food for their minds. If you spend more on candy than on inspirational books and tapes, that would be foolish, right? The best use of time and money comes from putting maximum value in it. It's called careful investment for maximum results. Concentration. Any professional athlete can tell you about the horrible cost of lack of concentration. Just a momentary slip of concentration, and they put one by your feet. And there goes first place and the big money. Don't let it happen to you. Put maximum attention to everything you do. When you write a letter, concentrate. Trying to solve a problem? Concentrate. Having a conversation? That's right, concentrate. You won't believe the effect this will have on your life. Naturally, there is a time to let your mind wander, but do it during a period that you've set aside, especially for doing just that. And when you wander, do nothing else. Go off for that walk on the beach, or that drive in the mountains away from the pressures of life. Let the breeze blow through your hair, and let your mind soar. Daydream. That's good for you, but do it only at the time you designate as daydreaming time. At all other times, concentrate. A dosage of reality. There is a last point to consider. Even with the most carefully thought out plan of action, you won't get everything you want. I know. How can I possibly say this after spending so much time showing you how to get everything you want? Am I speaking from both sides of my mouth? Why won't you get everything you want? Because, my friend, it's not that kind of world. Sometimes it will hail on your crop and rain on your parade. Sometimes the termites of life will gnaw at your foundations. It's not fair, you say? Perhaps not. But because you and I were not consulted in the initial planning, we have to accept the way it is. The good news, however, is that there is plenty of good news, too. If you work the system I've just shared with you, you'll get more than plenty. More often than not, you'll get what you want. And those are pretty good odds, the best out there. Goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. There's no telling what will happen to you when you act upon them. Just try the system for 90 days. Just try it. It may work even better for you than it has for me. I wish that for you.